Hey YouTube, it's Gabe with Sacred Awakens. It's been a while since you've heard from me. It's been a crazy year, but I decided to make a video today because so many of you are reaching out to me on the videos that I made where I shared all of my pain. And that was the original intent of this. So I'm kind of floored that after a year, people are still reaching out to me over what I endured last year. And it's been a crazy year. Last year, as some of you may know if you watched my videos, December of last year, not this year, but last year, my wife left me on the anniversary of my 2 years of sobriety, and I lost it. I lost it emotionally. I was lost, period, but that finally pushed me over the edge and allowed me to realize that even though I was sober, and that I had been sober for 2 years, that I had stopped living. I started isolating myself emotionally from my family and my friends because I was so focused on my recovery. A lot of you have asked me how I did all this, and I've gotten scolded a little bit because I didn't do things traditionally. I started with my alcoholism. It all started, my road to recovery started by my wife, my wife, and her telling me that she believed in me and that she would support me if I believed in myself. And that's really all it took to realize that somebody loved me and cared about me enough to stand by me. Now, listen, my family has always been there, and so has my friends, but they knew me. Most of my friends have been in my life for over 50 years. I've maintained all my relationships from my childhood, and so I guess I always just took for granted that I had a good support group. It wasn't until I met this beautiful woman that I wanted to date, and I had a complete stranger have faith in me that didn't know me, and that allowed me to start believing in myself, and that's where this whole journey began. I had checked myself into rehab and went to rehab, and I thought I'd learn to stop drinking because they were going to teach me all these protocols and all this stuff, and we were going to do like psychological deep therapy. And actually, it wasn't like that at all. The rehab that I went to was filled with a bunch of people that wanted to quit alcohol because they were in trouble. They were facing jail time or prison or death, or a lot of them. There were some people that just couldn't get over it because they were so addicted to it. It had been such an issue for so long. But there were a lot of people in my rehab that didn't want to be there, and it pissed me off. It made me furious because I wanted to be there to heal. What ended up happening was I found no substance in the rehab. I think it was there to take our money, actually. I didn't find much support. I didn't find stuff. We would just go over paperwork that it seemed like they put together that morning, and then we would talk about it. But what I found supportive was the tragedy in everybody else's story, because what I thought was so bad in my life and so dark ended up being almost nothing compared to what everybody else struggled through. The poor lady that was in rehab because she needed people to talk to because she was not strong enough to quit drinking, and she needed a support group because she knew she was going to die. Oddly enough, she ended up dying from kidney failure and liver failure because she had to stop drinking for 30 days in order to get on a transplant list, and she couldn't do it. Those people are who I want to reach out to, because if you don't want to stop drinking, if you don't want to stop addiction, if you want to stop drugs, if you don't want to stop sex addiction, if you don't want to stop eating, you're not going to. It's all within you. It's all part of you. You have to decide. I can't make you stop drinking. These words that you find in my videos can't make you stop drinking. What they can do is touch an emotional chord that allows you to realize you're not alone. And you're not alone. I guarantee your family wants to help you, your friends, your dog, everybody knows that you have an issue and that they want to help you. The problem is you don't want to help you. And so that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to share about. I didn't learn to quit drinking in rehab. I didn't learn to quit drinking in AA. What I learned is that I didn't want to be like the people there because I was going down that course. I was on my second DWI. I was facing jail time. I had a gun charge because I had a gun with me. And oddly enough, I got my DWI on the day that my now wife and I decided that we were going to stop drinking. It was our last drink, right? And I got a DWI. So what was hard is watching all these people slowly die. And that's what I was doing. I was slowly dying. Actually, I think I'd been dead inside. Most of us had been dead inside for a long time. We don't love ourselves. We don't like ourselves. We carry around the trauma of our childhood. Whether you believe it or not, most of us, our pain started early on, right? We were taught broken love, broken communication, or maybe it came along later. Maybe you had a great childhood, but something happened. And usually what happens is we take that and we stuff that pain down. Something else happens and we stuff that pain down, and something else happens and we stuff that pain down. Most of us aren't running from one problem. We're running from problems that we never faced and problems that we never had the courage to address. And so I've lost a lot of subscribers and people because I don't believe in traditional ways of coping with your addiction. Okay? Do I think you can stop drinking in AA? Absolutely. Do I think you can learn something in rehab? Sure. But how many celebrities have gone to these rehabs and not learned? How many athletes? How many people? How many people have gone to AA? How many times has relapse? I don't believe in a program that says that relapse is part of the program, because you're giving yourself a way out. You're giving yourself an excuse. What I do believe now is part of AA is that those 12 steps only boil down to one step, really. Believe in that, whatever you want to call that. I liked my rehab counselor because he said, find the God of your choice, right? He's not telling you to go find Jesus. He's not telling you to go find God. He's going to tell you to search for a higher power. Search for something greater than yourself and believe in that. I didn't really understand that at the time. I wasn't with God. I certainly didn't believe in God. I was an atheist. I grew up getting my ass beat and almost killed by my father over my sins after he got baptized. I was dragged from church to church to church. I bet you I've been to over 200 church, Lutheran, Baptist, Catholic. I've been to everything. My dad was searching for something, you know. I was a product of Vietnam. Dad fresh off the plane. I guess got with mom. Here I am, popped out. Dad never came back home from Vietnam. My dad is going to be almost 80, I think, and he has not worked since I was 7. He never came home mentally from Vietnam, and I got to experience all that pain and hate, PTSD, shell shock, from the time he brought me into this world until the time he decided to leave. And that scarred me. And then everything else after that scarred me. And I carried that shit for years. So it's hard to deal with. It's hard to face trauma. It's hard to face fear. You want to run from it. That's what we're doing, right? What we're running from is ourselves. We're running from our inability to look inside, grab that pain, and say, I don't want you anymore. Because we sit here and we do this, and then it makes us feel happy, and we feel alive, and then we feel excited for about an hour. And then that goes on until you wake up on the floor the next day drowning in your own vomit. And the only reason you're alive is because you choked on your vomit and you passed out and you fell and you hit your head. And when you did, you knocked the vomit from your throat, or you'd be dead. Or you wake up in a ditch. Or you wake up at somebody's house, somebody's bed, jail. You wake up with drugs on your nightstand that you don't remember doing. Or you black out and you get to hear what all you did. Or you beat people up. You put people in the hospital because you're lashing out on everybody around you when you need to lash out at yourself. You have to own your fear, your pain, your anger, your temper, and that's a hard thing to do, and most people just aren't capable of it. So how did I get sober? I saw the pain and the hurt in my wife's eyes and my daughter's eyes, because I was incapable of seeing the pain in my own eyes. So I stopped drinking. I went to rehab, listened to all the stories, and the reason I stopped drinking is because I didn't want to be as bad off as those other people. My darkness, my rock bottom was not as dark as their rock bottom, and I didn't want to hit their rock bottom. Out of the 18 people in my class, half have passed away. Half. I'm still here. Why am I here? So I can share this video. So you can see the pain in my eyes. These tears aren't about me. I'm happy. I'm healed. I'm one with God. These tears are for all the people that are like me that sat out there for so long. Incapable of loving themselves. So how do you stop drinking? It's different from everybody, but I've found if you follow 2 basic principles, it certainly becomes a lot easier. You've got to go out and find God, whatever that means to you. God's not necessarily in church or in the Bible. God's actually deep within inside you. And when you ask God to come into your life, and you start to feel that love, and you start to feel that power, and you start to feel that you're stronger than you used to be, and then you start to open your heart, and you start to love things that you never loved before. Then you open your eyes and you start to see things in a different way that you've never seen before. And then you start to love yourself. The reason that most of us are alcoholics or food addiction, any addiction, it has nothing to do with the actual addiction. It has to do with us not loving ourselves. And we're transferring that need to feel loved. We're transferring that to others, and we're transferring that to substance, right? Oh man, this Vicodin's going to make me feel better. I'm going to love myself because I'm going to hide the pain. I'm going to have that shot of vodka because it's going to make me love myself. It's going to heal my pain. All it does is push it down, but you've been doing that your entire life. That's why you're sitting here watching my video. You're looking for help. You're looking for somebody to identify with your pain, to resonate. You want to know you're not alone, but you're running from yourself. So wherever you go, there you are. When you run to the bar and you sit in that vodka, there you are. When you run to go out of state or to move countries or to you're running from yourself, but everywhere you go, there you are. And so you can't run from it. And what you realize is that the reason you're running from yourself is because you carry so much pain you don't know where to begin and you don't know where to deal with, and then you become ashamed. You don't want to share the fact that you were sexually assaulted, raped, beat, bullied, poor, whatever. You don't want to share that. That sucks. That hurts. Makes us want to cry. But when you sit in that, when you stop drinking and you go out and you sit with yourself, you can't run from your thoughts. When you stop stuffing your face with food, when you stop drowning your liver in alcohol, when you stop poisoning your body with pills, crack, heroin, I don't care what the hell it is, it's all the same. You're running to that instead of running to yourself. But when you sit with yourself, you can't hide your thoughts. And as you start to sit there and the thoughts come up, You realize that you hid from a lot. I hid all the abuse when I was a kid. I hid all the bullying. I hid all the sorrow. I became funny. I became sarcastic. I had an alter ego, if you will, that I became. People thought I was funny. People thought I was smart. Man, I was dying inside. I wasn't happy. I was fucking miserable. And you don't want to share that side of you, right? You want to be funny. You want to be the joke of the. You want to light up the room. And through I can make everybody happy. I can make everybody laugh, but me. So, last year, sitting at home alone at Christmas, looking at an empty house with all three of my daughters gone, I chose to stop motherfucking God, and I asked God to show me the way, and to show me the lessons, and to show me the reason why my wife left me. A year later, looking back, I've got all the answers. I fell to my knees and I cried, and I said, God, just show me what I need to do to be a better person. How do I get through all this pain? How do I deal with all this? I quit drinking. That was the root of my problem. Nah. I was just strong enough to quit drinking. I wasn't strong enough to face my fears and my anxiety and my stress. I fell to my knees and said, God, show me the way. A former atheist. Didn't believe in anything. Didn't believe in myself. Didn't care. Didn't want to live. Didn't really much care about anything. I cared about my family, right? I love my family. But I turned to my wife for my happiness. I turned to my daughters for my happiness. My dog. I turned to TV, Facebook, everything. I ran from me. But that day, December 22nd of last year, when I looked at God and I literally said, I know I've motherfucked you my entire life, but if you will just show me this, I'll spread your word. Here I am spreading his word. Because my life was profoundly changed. I sat in all my misery and all my childhood grief, and I realized that I didn't mourn the deaths of my dogs, that I didn't mourn the death of my grandfather, my grandmother. I stuffed it all down deep inside, and I let alcohol try to be my guide. But when I started setting with that, and I started mourning it, and I started taking one dark moment in my life and setting in it and releasing it, that darkness became light. And the more dark I set in, the more light that appeared. And the next thing I know, I felt this odd, weird sensation. And that's when I learned what vulnerability is. I never was vulnerable. I stopped being vulnerable as a kid when people started bullying me, when my dad started beating me, when I tried to hide everything. So now here I am sitting feeling vulnerable, and it was a whole horrible feeling. But I sat in it. Then I felt another weird feeling. Happiness. Bliss. Peace followed. And then I realized God was in my life. I can't believe the year that I've had. Now I'm so happy I sit here and I cry because it's hard to believe that somebody so broken deserves to be happy. But we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve love. Our love starts with us. We have to love ourselves. It's only then can we love each other, that we can love life. Go out today. Go smell the flowers. Watch the birds. Listen to this. Listen to the birds. Look at the bees. Look at the trees. That's God. God created earth and us in his own image. We are one. I am you. You're me. We are one. That's God. I love you. Hang in there, guys. Happiness follows. Peace out.